I want you to think for a moment about all the videos you've seen on YouTube or been shown clips of that are classified as creepy or strange with no explanation. Chances are, these are the kinds of videos you've seen in Top 10 or Top 5 or Top 50 or Top 50 Part 2, 3, and 4 list videos. Do you envision black and white footage, film grain, and people in cloaks, hoods, and scary makeup? How about someone in the woods or an old house wearing a mask? Are the videos all cut up, badly edited, move too fast, and have wild and strange behavior you need to slow down to see? Is there old music playing with plenty of audio distortion, and do you also hear music in reverse so it sounds like a vinyl record is melting? You've seen this all before. I know you have. It's commonplace now if you walk in our neck of the woods. But what's not common is finding videos or channels like these that deliver a reason to care. A genuine story, or plot, or purpose other than being creepy and hoping to make it into a list video. When it comes to finding that beautiful mid-ground of oversaturated, spooky videos and creators with artistic intentions, the closest we've gotten has been with Jack Torrance, which had a loose, but still easy enough to find, story in its cache of found footage videos. Now, I've got something that beats it, with plenty of methods behind the madness. 132insert132 comes across with a classic setup for this kind of channel. No profile picture, odd username, no information in the About section, no video descriptions, and upload titles mostly made up of one word. You can catch what this appears to be about from the title cards, all of them showing eerie or mysterious scenes in black and white. And once you get into the videos themselves, you find exactly what you expect. Here's the first video, Cancer, a 7-second long upload. A corpse, a building that's fallen down, and a person in a tree signaling to be quiet. Typical creepy video, but we do have questions, mostly for the presence of the man at the end. That's a nice touch that makes it apparent there may be more to this than filming a body in the woods. Moving on to the next video, Exit, we gain a lot more footage to look at, beginning with a dark shot of what appear to be notes. We can see the one on the right says me, while the others are obscured. There's a scene outside that may be running backward, followed by an upside-down shot of a storage room, and throughout both of these scenes, music plays in reverse. You might recognize a very prominent piece in the next shot, a figure made of sticks that greatly resembles the same image used in the Blair Witch Project. We see a person with a kind of welding mask that lights up inside, some old dolls, a shot of someone's dentures on old rags, and a figure outside in the woods at night. This scene in particular is very important. It's the only footage on the entire channel so far that has color. A few seconds of darkness and silence come next, interrupted by a flyby shot of a person in the image of notes from earlier. Now we've got a much better look. The first two both say me, and it might be safe to assume the other set does by its appearance. We turn back to the set of curtains with the iconic Blair Witch doll, and the person with a welding mask emerges, peering out before retreating. We're left with the dentures on a set of rags before the video ends. Now, based purely on this video, if a viewer wanted to follow a course of logic that this may have something to do with the Blair Witch, we do have evidence that can be related. The stick figure as such a prominent piece is the center. It's the most recognizable tie to the Blair Witch you could make. Another piece is related to the dentures. It's established in the first film that the Blair Witch may psychologically torture people by leaving body parts from prior victims. A pair of dentures can't be consumed, so those would be left behind as a cruel gift. Finally, we have our only bit of colored footage, the feminine figure in the woods that seems to attack the camera. The Blair Witch connections may be coincidental or might be on purpose. It is funny that this video was uploaded on September 28th of last year, well ahead of any news about the new film, and just recently updated around its premiere. There are further possible connections to be made, but evidence that also stands against it. The next video, Bind, is relatively straightforward. We have an old swing, low to the ground, and then see two unmarked graves. A black screen follows as radio static is heard, and we then see what appears to be someone on their back in a hallway, illuminated by a flashlight. They're being held up by their arms or legs, though we can't see who's attacking them. The next shot is fast and originally appeared upside down. I've put it back to the right position so we can get a better look. This man is also on his back and he's in serious trouble. Are his legs being held up what we're seeing in the scene before this, or the limbs of another person who ended up in a grave beside him? We don't receive enough information to know. The next two videos really help underline something cohesive is happening here and give us a sense of what we're viewing. For Mommy was uploaded on October 28th of last year, just a few days before Halloween. The opening scene tells us plenty. A man in the woods, dressed in a hooded cloak, bowing between the trees. We have interjected frames of symbols carved into a tree, what looks like runes, though the precise type and language can't be placed. The hooded man sits beside the trees, facing the direction of the camera, and we're presented with a warped image of someone coming straight at it for a moment. The next sequence is the most straightforward we've received. The cameraman finds a message placed on a suit next to a mask. "My dear son, you are now free to kill all the pigs you can. Eat. Please wear the gifts I have left. Remember what I taught you. Watch out for Mommy. Daddy will be watching." The gifts are taken and we catch sight of someone stalking through the woods wearing the items. They grab a statue, sneak up behind someone in a pig mask and attack them, staging a murder in the stream of blood from a freshly cracked skull. The murderer steps into his car and prepares to drive off, only to be choked from behind by another masked assailant. The camera takes a look inside the throat of the person who's choking as they struggle and they fall against the steering wheel dead. The new attacker steps out, opens the driver's door and drops the body onto the ground. He's dragged off into the woods and his car is stolen. After driving up a few roads, it seems the thief gets tired, stops to sleep in the back of the car and is visited by a spirit of death, who then raises him up in a kind of trance. The ending sequence is another message seen on a whiteboard being erased in reverse. Did you really think Mommy would let you go that easy? What we're viewing isn't a straight recording of events. This is theater. We're seeing what appears to be dramatic reenactments or lessons in stories acted out. The person filming and those in front of the camera are all very aware they're recording and seem intent on delivering a message through play acting. This may not be entirely the case for some videos, but enough of the channel's content is just like this, showing us messages through acting rather than just writing or speaking. The video that followed is more ambiguous than its predecessor, at least in the sense of determining whether we're seeing theatrics or documentation. Summon is an upload that plays entirely into its title, showing several stages of idol worship and summoning practices. We never see what's being summoned, but the action is prolonged and made front and center in the video. The rest of the channel contains a mix of theatrical messages and legitimate documentation by the cameraman. There are warnings and lessons being delivered by this group, and their worship of something more powerful than a person is obvious. We have two figures, a father and a mother, and we may have already seen the mother or a personification of her. Is this mother figure the Blair Witch, or are we meant to interpret the iconic stickman as an indicator of the mother's power? Who is the father, and why does this group worship or fear these figures? 132insert is an anomaly, a legitimately interesting story-driven performance that looks so much like the cheap, creepy old videos we see too much of. Despite its appearance, this is a refreshing find with mystery that runs strong and signs that the direction being taken is unique. I want to know more about this group, why they're filming, what they're doing, what they believe, and who they're afraid of. These are people with a mission, and they've got me excited for more uploads. Take a look for yourself at what we've already received from this enigmatic channel. We've seen the videos up until after death, so anything from that video on will be new for you. As you watch, keep in mind that a good amount of what you see is performance. They're putting on a show for us to get across a message, and we need to decode the visual language presented. If you find this series as interesting as I do, definitely subscribe so you catch the next upload. Their very recent activity is an awesome pulse of life, and I know now this series has a lot more in store. I had been afraid it wouldn't come back to life. You may not find this as thrilling as some of the other night vision entries, and I completely understand that. But if you like it, that's just another subscription to catch you off guard with something good to watch. If you do enjoy 132insert, let me know in the comments below and hit the like button. Subscribe for more coverage of dark, horrifying, and mysterious media. And a big thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon who make it possible to cover even more content than ever before. Stick around to the end of this video to catch the names of all of these awesome creatures of the night. Thanks for joining me in the dark again this evening. Once more, I'm Nick Nocturne, and like a cult in the woods you thought had disappeared for good, I'll be back again real soon. Sleep tight.